cultural expression money can't substitute. The images will remain embedded on my mind, and for my culture I'm reflecting all the time. Culture don't close down, culture don't fall out. It's a continuum between generations. Culture don't close down, culture don't fall out. That is how we just pass on tradition, to protect the archives of my people's expression, to save the soul of this great nation. Our people's culture keeps them strong and provides the stimulus to carry on. Tell them culture don't close down, culture don't fall out. The will of my people make the bailiff up and run. If my dream be passing was wrong and still walking, she would have the bailiff on their toes running. Just I would have hit them licks in one of the episodes. Bona St. Rose would have ring she better get them blows. Thanks to the generosity of the people of TNT, they say the cultural works of my country. Basse Henville must be feeling so proud of we for protecting and saving Gaia TV. Culture don't close down, culture don't fall out. For a few dollars you can't tell culture close up shop. Culture don't close down, culture don't fall out. It's Western TV you want me cheer on to watch. What's wrong with seeing people on TV looking like me? You culturize my children with birth and honey. Our people's culture can only be about money. Seeing yourself on TV brings a different energy. Culture don't close down, culture don't fall out. Philomena would have beat them with cheap bucket and mop. Lang lang na na lang day. If Mr. Roscoe was in the mansion that fateful morning, that is where the archive would be storing. Eyelash lady would have come bushy things in the kitchen. Sprang along would have give them a good tongue lashing. It's a serious lesson that the country learned. Your cultural archives must have a permanent home. By the evening they had to leave Gaia TV alone. The power of the people paid off the loan. Tell them culture don't close down, culture don't fall out. Monetizing cultural assets could be rough. Culture don't close down, culture don't fall out. Tell them financiers never all we bluff. It's not easy to foreclose on a people's legacy, to trade their heritage for some small money. Cultural contributors must be turning in their grave as they tried to block the path that they made. Tell them culture don't close down, culture don't fall out. Monetizing cultural assets could be tough. Dang na dang na day, dang dang na na dang day. Kyle was the stomping ground of the great sprang along. Tony Hall, Christopher Led, and Wendell Etienne. So much room and stars has a platform to perform. How we cultural legacy would have carry on. We thank Errol Fabian for standing strong and reaching out in the time of need and desperation. Thanks to the people for their contribution. Today Gaia TV on its way building back strong. Culture don't close down, culture don't fall out. Gaia TV on its way back to the top. Tell them culture don't close down.
And that was you nice. You nice Peters. I find Eunice have a kind of thing for. She sound like a singing Rachel Price.
What?
I'm telling you. No,
that's singing
Rachel Price.
Why?
You don't hear the intonation and things. She have a little something. She voice kind of
sound like pricey.
Yeah, she sound a little pricey-ish.
Oh gosh.
I don't find so. I find she does.
The people go tell me.
No, I'm telling you, she have a little racial pricey something happening, and then
nobody remember.
And then she personality as large. I think she personality as large as Rachel Price.
That different. That's your level of scandal.
Yeah, I'm telling you what it is.
That level of scandality is very high.
She have a little something for Rachel Price.
Wow.
She
can get a little competition.
I want to make sure fit not showing.
Yeah. You see why his church
ashiness not visible because. Auntie, we're not on me.
So we have plenty things going on.
Well, a lot has been happening today. Oh gosh.
Lockdown again.
I see it on I can't see it on the horizon. Here's one of my theories right now. Because today I see the figures for today for COVID. 157. 151.
157.
Yeah. We have 150 in one day already.
And we active at almost 1100.
Now the nice thing, as I was saying last night, I was on TV with Clint last night, I was telling them, the good thing about it is,
they should change days.
Yeah, something like that, high-handed, be able to show you this. Where you going?
They got promoted to man.
Yeah.
I like how you say it. I like you afraid to say it. They got promoted.
They performed well in the slot on Wednesday.
With the slot?
I was promoted to Monday to start the week. You know?
Don't encourage her, please.
Yeah, you perform with this slot.
Don't encourage her.
You want to go back to Wednesday?
No, get on Monday. Monday's good.
Maybe
go back to
Thursday or Friday.
No. Keep your Wednesday.
Maybe a Saturday.
Keep your Wednesday. We go take the Monday. We good to go.
You get promoted.
Yeah, go handle. I go take that.
People get promoted to a place where they could fail, so they could put in somebody else.
Yeah.
Careful.
Oh God.
Let's target me in this place. I realize that it's like I'm moving to.
Thou shall not enter into said conversation.
Lord, mercy. I was lamenting
so you
last night.
about this whole lockdown, and I mean,
last night I was lamenting.
With J80 thing.
That although we have these amount of cases coming in, the case count kind of high for positive cases. The thing is, our healthcare system is not in a predicament, right? In terms of they're not quarantining a lot of people inside the system, so we don't really have. So the cases are actually the ones that are much more manageable at home. Than it is.
Well, we have around 200 or something at home quarantine.
Right. No. Well, in quarantine. They have close to a couple hundreds. Well,
about 200.
No. I'll tell you, give you exact.
In home quarantine.
I got it today.
I'll probably see it around.
I put my glasses.
I was watching it a
a
little while ago. But nevertheless.
For quarantine, this is state quarantine facilities.
Right.
So the state quarantine facilities have 240.
All right. Okay.
Right. And total patients in step-down facilities is 10.
Right.
And the total persons in home self-isolation that's supposed to stay home
and not come outside.
And don't go any shop
and don't
go to buy mosquito coil
and buy the man to buy soup
and buy cigarette and send or have somebody come and distribute
how much is that number? How much is the number?
That number is 1,192.
Home quarantine?
You still see what happening here?
I feel like I want to build a bubble around my head.
A dome.
I want to build a dome. Hey,
you want to get a dome? Who's that, Billy?
Dub Dub Hey!
Everybody understand where you were. Everybody was on a sabbatical.
Yeah. You know how this go. Sometimes.
I think I'm so glad to see you back.
Nice, man. I'm glad to hear your voice, man. Supporting us normal, 100. Number one fan.
Well, you know how to check in Alan tonight.
How you going, doctor?
Well, I going real good, you know, but I behaving myself.
That's very good.
That's nice to know.
Where's
Eric have some
Easy what? Easy baker? Easy butcher.
Yeah,
Easy baker.
No, I'm baker.
No.
Eric is the butcher.
Eric is the butcher. Where's the butcher?
Butcher
In the market,
not-
or?
Nah, he have all personal stuff going on. So
Yeah, and then stories.
handling some stories there and thing.
All right,
For-
well,
for-
well, you
for
know,
Gael- for Gael
capable.
East.
Yeah.
Capable man. Batman and Robin.
That's what call Batman.
Yeah.
I think that Batman post.
Batman and Robin because Alfred home.
I snatch up Batman one time and just say that.
You understand?
You wanna be Batman?
Nice, so I locked on.
Yeah,
Nice
buddy.
one, thanks.
Blessings.
Cool.
Yeah, boy. So,
but
do you really feel these self-quarantine people?
Now,
Them outside, them
listen,
outside, them outside.
50% of the self-isolation outside.
That bad
And I
boy.
think the problem with that is you don't have the mechanism in place to ensure that they're adhering.
Yeah.
And then two, when you're going in, how long are you supposed to stay in for? And could anybody really tell me that they can stay in for the
No,
length
well,
of time
from
that
what
they're
I
supposed
hear,
to?
from what I hear, they're actually giving it 21 days.
Well, now it's 21. It has to be 21.
Aside from
because of the variant.
variant.
Right.
So the mark, but these people not staying inside. They're not staying inside. So how we treating with?
If you get sick and it's still at least 3 days, you really stay home 3 days, they're going to get crazy. They're going to get still crazy. You're really going to get in a zone.
What about people?
You're
What about
frustrated.
people we talking about?
All right, and this is where the discipline is. The discipline is really, this is not about me. My isolation is not for me to get better, but the isolation is to make sure that nobody else gets sick. And that is where the discipline is. That's where the fight is. Because we cannot selfish in a sense, eh? We're not selfless as we're supposed to be a long time, and I'm kind of thing. We have a little selfishness happening with me these days.
Yeah.
And to me, that's really real battle.
I seen a comment here. I seen some comment. Anil Rampol says nice song. So I guess he likes his song, Culture to Full Up. Then I see my cousin online. Big up to Miss Koshi Garcia. And I see in this comment here from somebody by the name of, what is that name there? Pauline Augustus. Who is that person? You know that person?
Augustus Augustine.
Augustus. I don't know. Say stop flapping. Well, I don't know if it's me or you.
This is I can't help that. This is me.
Right? She says she wish she would stop flapping her legs.
Pauline,
As if
take
you
it
were
off.
a...
Oh, come on, Pauline.
So doing this means now...
That's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pauline, you should just take off the TV.
Yeah,
That's what
Pauline,
I'm
that's
saying.
something. How you gonna be so mean?
Take off the TV.
Oh, she on social
I'm
media.
gonna-
She on social media.
Yeah. Put on your phone. Come on Facebook. Go and take a rest.
Angry,
Right? This is so stupid.
No, it's not. I mean, everybody had their peeves. Oh gosh, there is no fight. Everybody have their peeves. If I say
Pauline Augustus?
I will tell you this.
Yes,
right?
she right to know we on national
Pauline-
TV.
Pauline.
And your name go get called up on
That's
national
okay.
TV.
And Pauline and me will get a whole night tonight, right? Yeah, I'm talking Pauline. Pauline, I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm a person, sometimes it's very hard to stay still. Right? For me, I can't stay still. And when I'm doing this, there's two things happening. Either I'm in pain or I'm in thought.
Right.
Sometimes when I'm thinking,
Yeah.
something had been moving. It come like if I clean up the room. I just had, when I need to think, I just had to clean.
I can't eat.
That was she saying, Pauline. No.
I feel she.
No.
I know it is.
Pauline, no, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm always in heat.
Yeah.
Pauline.
Yeah. Hey, Eric inside. Eric, the watcher.
Pauline,
is inside.
I'm always in heat.
Amy Patterson.
Yes, my blood
Amy
close.
Patterson said
Yes.
that's the signs of nerves.
No, that's not
Is
nerves.
that
I
what
don't
it
know.
is?
I don't know. That's not
And that's how it is.
Nah,
You
I don't know.
heat.
Right, but
You
heat.
heat.
Yeah.
Apparently, Pauline thinks you
Heat.
heat. So I don't
can't
know.
stay
And
still.
then
I just
I
can't
started
stay
again right now.
Oh,
because I
listen,
don't-
Pauline. See this? And I'm not the only one.
I thought I was
No, and the CMO as well. You ever see CMO delivering? If you're not talking, he bounces. Why you think he bounces so? He leg going below the table. He leg swaying. That's somebody in heat too.
So once you sit down and you're doing this,
Pauline, I'm glad you could stay put.
You're in heat.
You could cross your legs.
Oh my gosh.
Some of us.
Oh gosh. I'm still feeling it. In heat.
And I agree. I am. Pauline, thanks. Thanks for letting me secret out like that. I am in the heat.
Pauline, Augustus, go and quarantine your food.
Pauline, I'm not for this. Pauline, I have something. We got a thing going on.
Yeah. But you remember she's on fire, you know that?
That's okay.
You know?
That's okay.
I know.
Listen. My track record is very extensive.
Oh my goodness, that is the best I hear. Woo. Anyway, let me stay on track,
I play tambourine.
Yeah, let me stay on track. Right?
Pauline just go out about her whole night.
I think she probably come off.
You got to go on Instagram tonight, Pauline.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Nevertheless.
Keep it on track with the app. We hope that the prayer and the hope is that we find a way to bring the figures down. And like I was explaining.
Because we're going
many
up
times,
there.
right.
We're going
And
up
the problem
there.
is, for the
That's
for
scary.
COVID to spread, it really has to do with how we behave.
Yeah.
I keep saying that.
No, but you hear
COVID spread
now
because
that
of our behavior.
the social distancing with the variant actually needs to be more.
Much wider.
Much wider than the 6 feet.
Let's use that. Pauline, I hope you call him here. Pauline, I want to hear from you tonight. Rub. Hello. Yes, Dubba. How you going?
Cool, man. Yeah. Good day.
Yes.
That's alright.
That's the butcher.
Oh, I feel like Ole make the voice.
What's going on, Dr. Butch?
Almost nearly something different.
Well, I see you're making your attendance a little bit sure now. You're coming, you're putting your attendance via the telephone.
Yeah, via the
I feel the mashing
telephone.
up Pauline there.
You what?
I feel the mashing up Pauline there.
We're not trying to mash up
No,
Pauline.
we're
We're
not
just
mashing up
trying
Pauline.
to gently explain to Pauline something she don't quite understand. You
I think
understand?
that even like I really come. I think 2 pictures on that come.
You know, people just mock what they don't understand. I would just say, like how the saying goes. We mock.
I'm going to see the account. I'm going to see if I can
Hold on. What is the position? What is the position?
The position is alright now. We a third chair missing, but we go handle it for by the time the people are asking for you.
You do our thing, you do our thing.
No, but this is 3 men and a tub, Eric. Not two
not
men.
2 men and a tub.
Sometimes 3 when the people have things to do and all that
I hear my
different.
phone.
Huh?
I hear my phone.
There's not 3 men with tub and a phone. The phone is for outsiders, the extended family. But how things on your side though?
Yeah, so the big hello and a happy birthday and a greeting and a happy anniversary and any kind of fancy thing like that going out to the whole of Trinidad and Tobago and up the Caribbean, Barbados, Grenada, St. Vincent, St. we mind a lot these days.
Yeah.
Thank you people at the end of the day, regardless of what, we have to keep our mind out for we people. I see Bungie and Fayan doing a real nice thing with Itlac and Avi. We have to get Avi on the program and Avi real pulling thing for St. Vincent, right?
Yeah, and I believe I said that thing here too, we still have thing here to carry up in St. Vincent.
I meet Avi there, I tell Avi that thing, they go and pick it up.
I say, follow, don't get Avi personally. Handcuff she and bring she for them stuff. St. Vincent, we will talk people water.
I feel like I want to pick it up and make a trip.
Yeah, we want to make a get it up there.
I will do that.
I will talk to Chi's husband tomorrow and tell him that thing up there waiting for them. He might quickly remind you. You understand? But again, we acknowledging and making and have people understand that Gael is a drop-off point, or they can make sure and bring all the water and bring all the thing up here as well.
Come true. Bring thing.
Nothing is too small.
Not at all. Nothing is too small indeed. But Eric, where peaches?
She inside watching TV, she must be watching the show the next day. I used to do but I had to pop in and check my boys.
All right, good.
While I do some editing on the side.
Well, all right. So now we feel like we really ain't miss you really much because you know you're jumping on the line, you call me. So you're setting up your account.
Inside.
You set your account to return.
Yeah, public to what? You come to but you call it.
Yeah,
You call to get paid.
You're paying you stop.
You walking
you swipe your card.
Yeah. How to do that?
I'm glad for that.
I was trying to beat Willie on the taking over, kept the voice.
You can't do
linguistic.
You can't do that.
The being linguistic, once he see something wrong, he first touching base. He will touch base first.
Yeah.
And I know, and I know that people didn't see us last week too. So because of the rerun, they had some things.
Big up to me, to my boy Richie. He's not well. He's home.
Hey Richie, boy.
So I hope he locked on watching, but in case thing, Richie.
Oh, Richie,
right? Get better fast.
You
know, fall back in. We miss you.
Yep. And you know, because you're not feeling too well, and as long as you have symptoms, we doing the right thing. Stay outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We ain't practicing and we ain't pet nobody inside here. You come with symptoms. Park it outside.
You are playing in India. Right?
India, boy. That's true.
I think it's very average in the country.
Hey, talking about India, because they were saying there were a lot, because India is predominantly a Hindu society, they have a lot of rituals that they perform, and even the festivities in the festivals and inside the rituals by the river, you still see crowding. Now again, based on the video that I saw circulating, I can't take too much of it because somebody can take all pictures and all videos and
how to verify.
You understand? But it is confirmed that there are some super spread activities based on the rituals.
There are some.
You understand? So and most of the rituals sometimes as well take place by the river. We happen to catch some people locally
by the river.
And if you really want to show police.
Hey, I want to shout out the wifey Nikki and my son Jaden. Locked on right now.
Wifey Nikki and Jaden?
Yeah, so I know he was waiting to hear Jaden.
Not Jaden. Or Jaden.
Jaden. No,
I don't know. I miss Eden. I have a Eden, but I say Eden.
I see Jaden.
But
I see Jaden.
But yeah, I don't know if you can show it really clear.
Yeah, I want to go by the river. Morgan Heritage sing to all them before.
I'm jumping out for the little while.
You're going
Yeah. Link,
I know you're watching on YouTube.
Niceness. So we had the video, the river crew.
Yeah. So in India, you had rituals taking place by the river, and apparently in Trinidad, we just can't let it go for 3 weeks. We need to, somehow the water in the house not cold enough, not fresh enough, not good enough. We have to find a way to sneak, break the law, and find yourself in a piece of bangarang. Yeah, bring the clip. This is what we discovered.
Bring the clip.
This is what
Right, we taking a call. Let me see.
the audio on us, Jimmy? Nice. I want to make sure the audio on us.
Rubber Dub. So you see what's going on with these people here, Willie?
Hey, it had a next super spreader too, you know.
What is that?
It's not only the rituals by the river. There was some election stuff that they had. So it says 2 sets of super spreaders.
Wow.
You understand?
And right here
because
we
I think there's some one of the areas they had
6
election. So you know when you have the election meeting and all kind of thing, the prime minister, everybody, the whole shebang, no mask, all kind of thing.
Wow.
So that is it there.
And again, is our next election scenario, next political gimmickry as well happening across there? Is that kind of something?
You know things are happening there too.
Wow.
So
them in a piece of back now.
Yeah.
So we just saw about 7 of them down by the river. Yeah, down by the river. Yeah.
Like body miles, boy.
Let
Don't
them-
mind
yeah,
the rubber, boy.
Watch.
Bare back and heading down.
Watch.
They're masking up their face, but they're heading down. They ain't even mask because, you know.
1, 2, 3.
I know the
4,
police walking them back up.
5.
Yeah, the police in front there.
Escorted. So
Yeah, long line.
Why I must leave
Look them.
my house?
And I think that's the video that we record. That's
No,
they connected both ways.
No, them have to look for money.
No.
How much is
Yeah,
that
because
charge?
you know,
1, 2, 3, 4,
Remember,
5.
the Gazette, the thing now, eh?
The Gazette?
Yeah, the Gazette.
Yes, the Gazette. So
Yeah.
now, when you charge your partner, you
Put your pot on
have
the
to
fire.
go and pay your money.
Put your pot on the
And
fire.
all who get ticket before, that you have to pay too, you know.
Oh!
So it's not,
Hey,
so the
all
backdating it?
who
no get away.
You ain't get away.
No get away.
You're
No get
backdating
away.
it?
So you have a money to pay.
Very nice. Well, look at that.
Right.
I didn't know that there was backdating the problem. There's backdating this thing.
No, they were just waiting on the right time, you know. I think they were going.
So again, according to the Minister
Yeah, Willie.
of National
Alright, fella.
Security, thanks. According to the Minister of National Security,
The new one?
well, yeah,
The new one? Congratulations to Mr.
Well, too late, you come
Jeremiah, you know, on his appointment
So,
as
he making
Minister of
sure
National Security.
he put it out there that they going to feel it in the pockets.
Yes.
We're not feeling it in the pockets.
Yes. Like,
So
like water.
yeah, so
Or
to
yes,
ensure that the police are wasting the time on the ticket here, they're going and make sure
Feel it in your pocket like when somebody throw water on you.
So friends, and the time you're about going down the highway, and the police passing in the bike and watching the car.
Yeah. We saw this. Watch it now.
Yeah. And when they
That's
say you
what
look
they
at mask,
hear.
they do so.
I say, Baba, what
Yeah,
you
they're
driving?
looking at the Macquarie.
You driving in between cars.
They does back when you riding.
Big up to Patricia Comina. She's locked on.
Patricia, good night.
Say good evening to the two men in a tub. Then she corrected herself. She mean outside. Why these people so dirty?
Nice. So let's see what's going on there. And that's the type
But
of
not
behavior.
listening, boy.
That's the type of behavior. I don't know if you check your temperature and your sanitize before you went in the river. That's not the case. The problem is, I mean, you have to behave and stay within the ambit of the law.
4 men and 1
Just for a
woman
couple
going
minutes.
by the river. What is it?
Not 4 was about 6 of them was there.
Yeah, but only 1 woman.
Yeah. Well, you know.
All them. They
I don't know.
look little. They
I
look
remember
local too,
in
you
the
know.
first
That's why they
wave-
look little.
In the first wave, I remember making a couple beach trip,
Yeah.
but it was passing by the beach. Stand up and watch the beach and head back.
But what I can tell you this, now the day they announced the lockdown, I went on the beach.
Right.
Right?
This one here?
This one here.
Well, it's not really lockdown, it's restriction.
Well, restrictions.
Right.
When they roll back.
Roll back, right.
Right.
So roll back measures.
But surprisingly enough, on Facebook, it had some pictures circulated with Maracas and Tyrico. So this is me standing on Tyrico Bay, watching Facebook and watching Tyrico. Watch Facebook and watch Tyrico.
Nothing.
It's like, where all these people is? I walk down the beach, nothing. I walk back up, nothing. Passing, going, watching Marcus, watching video.
Somebody just throw it up there and make it seem like
And the thing is, if you see how people run with that,
yeah.
they just take it, like nice hot sweet bread, granny now make, and she just throw it in your hand. So you have to run and look for something to rest it on. I was like, this social media thing real dread, and people is just, I mean, we had to be mindful. I just always say do research when you go on social media. Do your research.
Do your research.
Don't take nothing and put your head on no block and go and see what I see this on Facebook.
Okay, because it's not hard to research it, eh?
It's not hard.
If you see something that looking suspect, just go across to YouTube
Yeah.
and type put on the search engine exactly
Yeah,
what you're
exactly what you're
looking for.
looking for. Yeah.
A man bathing in a swimming pool
And
with 2 children.
They mash up everything.
And that is the spelling. That's when people get the information. It's in that same public domain where they pull it from and they create this story. so it could always go and verify.
Yeah,
You know, there was a video that circulated at one time when the man said, in the beginning, in the meninging, in the meninging,
in the merengue.
in the meninging, in the beginning,
Yeah.
in the beginning.
And you get right at all?
Right. That video.
Like it'd be like Dama.
But the video itself, the man wasn't ready. That wasn't the case. That man was actually delivering a speech.
Yeah.
And somebody superimposed, photoshopped him in the meaning,
Well, I see we have one with the Honorable Prime
but
Minister
somebody
singing.
did say it and impose it on the man, but it was crisp. It was so crisp, but I really laughed. But I went to check a partner and he said, this is not real. This is not
Easy
real.
up with all your social media business.
So, really and truly.
And I don't know who is the inventor of the meme. Is that person from Trinidad? You ever check that out? And I check it out. You ever check that out? Because
Which one?
the meme, any meme, memes on the whole. Because for some reason, as something happened in Trinidad, if it happened today, now is what time? 9:37, 9:39. Bet your bottom dollar. They have a meme outside.
Mm-hmm.
They're good. And whoever, I don't know if they're getting paid. If I'm getting paid, link me. I just have some little free time on my hand. I go make meme too.
Now, some things
It's
that
sick,
if I see a picture by itself, something I just mean it.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, these need
I
some,
don't
this
want to
thing
talk
need
about the
words.
opposed, I don't know.
These things need some
Don't
words.
talk
I will actually mean it and stuff. But,
them status WhatsApp, they just put up their WhatsApp status. Lord.
and a lot of people love it, so it's just entertainment.
Yeah.
I don't like to, and I don't live on it, and I really don't even read in people's statuses. So I just drop my stuff.
Why just forget what I tell them?
Yeah,
Why
just
be
like,
like-
my wife just be like, you see my status? So like Eric said earlier, good night to everybody up in the Caribbean.
Hey, yeah, boy.
Especially up in St. Vincent.
People, if I
Yeah.
have some family out there, they're alright.
St.
And
Vincent?
shoot some calls and,
But you get to drink, you shoot some right?
no, that was yes.
You have to. Because
I know you wasn't getting through the calls and all them things.
I know one of the things that they said we should give is actually
To like phone chargers.
chargers and stuff. They really wanted some chargers and
They say if you could have like some portable inside it too in the mix.
yeah.
I think current in some areas as well.
There's some fellas selling them on the side of the road. We could probably ask them to donate it. We know that not gonna happen. They might say, give me half the money for it, and I go send it. I go send it, and then they take your money and they will just not send it.
I can't sell it back.
They sell it exactly. They get.
But I mean,
in trouble.
they need the help, so as much as we could assist, I know we're doing plenty. We send some soldiers and they go on back, bring back some people and all that.
And of course, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent actually echoed that we have some problems, Because I want to tell you the shape of the issue. You said if you have, let's say you have 1,000 persons inside a quarantine, one of the quarantine shelters, one of the shelters itself, right? You say that one person, or that 1,000 person, is 3 meals a day.
Oh my God.
So that's 3,000 meals a day. Multiply that by 7, because you don't know how long they will be inside there.
No, well, it real hard is COVID by so.
So it's about
volcano by so that's real tough.
It's food, is water, is play. Don't flap no man.
Sorry.
Pauline.
Didn't mean to flap. For this. Sorry.
When you're on this, Pauline, that's why it is, look.
Yeah. Pauline say in heat, she reached there.
I'm going to get some water and then because I've been in Thursday.
Yeah. Cool off yourself. And sanitize your mind. So we nice, so look at it we up. Let we know all the thing about the whole scene. If you know somebody who JA up the scene.
Nah, yeah. But we have to do our part in Trinidad to
If
make
you know somebody and all they hear they have it
And I
and
said-
let's see them outside, ask them to go back inside.
Our behavior,
Nicely.
our behavior in Trinidad. I've been in Port of Spain.
Ask them nicely to go back
I have
inside.
seen in the videos
Go
that
back
they're masked
inside.
off And I'm talking about we're talking in close proximity to taxi
yeah.
driver, talking here.
Normal.
You understand what I'm saying?
And them transporting
Everything
people.
down. And I'm like, why we doing that? Why we doing that? You understand? That don't make sense. And we have to do better, friends. That's long and short of it. We have to do better.
Are you real coasting because you like the beach?
You coasting, you like the beach. I coasting because I like to
but
perform.
The thing is,
I
want a good day.
No MC.
I ain't even want to reach. I want to reach there.
By now, I done probably come about 4 or 5 weddings for the year. And I ain't put like.
I do about 2.
You see, but I know I did 2 weddings. 2
I think I do about
a
2.
couple in the lockdown.
2. I think it's 2.
Quiet and was nice and quaint.
Yeah.
And of course, people was,
Little birdie
they were compliant.
But just like,
yeah. But I mean, in terms of,
10 people, 20 people.
I'm sitting on last night by Alistair. And I rock back so night.
We in a mess. We kind of entertainment industry.
And I'm thinking forward now. I'm thinking.
I just fixing the thing, brother. It was on my side, it reached quite here. So I put it back on the other side.
We sanitize my snack.
If I didn't open it and say, well, it
I
crossed the border.
what part you.
If I didn't say it come across in Mexico.
They be touching up my snack. Your pack still open there,
I should have, you see, it was in Mexico.
But like as I was saying, right?
Put it in quarantine.
I was actually sitting down, thinking forward. And I keep, pondering on the fact that if the figures remain like this, there would be no choice in the matter. More rollback measures are going to be enforced. And if we enforce more rollback measures, that means, you understand? And I want to think even further now. If every time we roll back, because thank God, thank the Lord, that as bad as we might think it is, you understand? Other countries have it worse, so you get an example of what worse is. You understand? Our job now is to not become like them.
Yeah.
Primarily. So, if I'm in leadership, and I'm at the helm of this country, being in the halls of leadership, my first thing is, how do I preserve the activity in the economy, 1, and 2, preserve our way of life, and not have to put ourselves under strain now, because if I send them back in, I will have to feed them somehow. I had to pay government, the workers and them, from money that already we will have to borrow again. I have to pay these public servants and them for staying home. Productivity will be at an all-time low.
We need to talk to the New Zealand Prime Minister.
Right. I don't think we need to talk, We need to take a page. Here's the page. Here's the page.
A dread page too.
Here's the page. Both the opposition and the party that is in power came together and said, we have to preserve way of life first. And they all banded in together.
No active cases.
To deal with this thing called COVID-19.
No, I thought 0 active cases.
Right. So if you think we're good, you could take a picture of what better and ask yourself, what better? We need to put down the racial divide, the religious divide. We have to put down all the divides and think Trinidad and Tobago must survive this, come hell or high waters, the best way possible.
So anti-cams, then we get it in correct.
Get there, We need to get inside that space. If you belong to Parliament, it's not about boycotting Parliament because you're afraid this one happens. At the end of the day, all of us sitting behind shields. Everybody had to put on face mask. Everybody had to be physically distant. You understand? But come together and put the policy in place, not just put the policy in place. Be determined to work to make this thing to make this thing work out in the country. That's what it's taking on. Because I think how when I could actually have a good problem.
Hey, Alan,
Doctor.
I like how all you're thinking in that what all you want to see happen. But all you ever see a pregnant fowl?
That's something. I don't think you can ever tell. You can never tell a pregnant.
This is the point. You will never see a pregnant fowl, and what are you hoping for with the opposition and the government? That will never happen.
You know, and that's partly the reason why Indiana messed it too, eh?
Yeah.
Well, I ain't want to go down that road with them because you know they're going to believe that you're going down a racial thing and all of that kind of thing.
We can't even go there because you hear why we can't go there? It's only East Indian and India, really.
Yeah, but remember, although it's East Indian in India have caste.
Right, they have a caste system.
You have Maharaj and Maharaj in India, you know.
And then you have very few Muslims.
So you understand?
And you have Hindus.
Good. So within that whole thing, it have other problems. So I ain't want to go down that road. But what I am talking about is what is happening home here. What all you want is really the ideal thing. But that will never happen. And my belief, you know when this thing, I watching it, you know when this thing get out of hand?
When?
This thing get out of hand when we get the first shipment of vaccine.
Yeah, because I think with the announcement of the vaccine, because are free of their hand.
This is exactly it. People tell themselves, well, look, vaccine rates
vaccine
will
good to go.
Because remember, we get a 40,000, at 38 something, and then we get a 40, and then the Minister of Health says we getting the next thing in May again. So people start to say, well, okay, the panacea reach, the silver bullet reach. So they just, as we just say, they let go.
Let loose.
When I say let go, let him let loose, they let go.
And it hard for the people who
check it
actually
back.
doing
You
the
play back
correct
the
thing.
tape and watch when this thing start to really get out of hand.
Now, Willie, here's the next conspiracy people are actually jumping on. The thing is, they say that the cases was always high, they just presented low counts.
Well, you know, I can't see that. You know, how the cases was always high and they presented low count. So where all these people and them, how come the hospitals and them?
Not only that, here's my concern. There are so many factors that go into the case count that if I have to give study figures, I'll start to give Jolene the figures to give to Errol so they could come in front of TV. Even if it change along the line, 1 week I say, hey, something wrong, and it could leak. You understand what I'm saying?
By listener, man.
So the factors of that being, the conspiracy of that being, they was telling me the lies all along. There are too many people involved for that lie to be hidden.
Right.
Yeah.
I
This is
will
Somebody
end
that
with
done
this.
leak
Leak
that
that I
already.
say, but now we let the children jump out.
Yeah, but Alan, I will end with this. COVID has been around now for over a year, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I believe Trinidad is the only country in the world that gives a press conference 3 times a week.
A week.
3 times a week. And we, from the time the thing starts till it obtains still.
And we
3
give
times a week. You getting an update, and not only an update, you have the media asking hard questions.
Yes.
So what are you telling me about?
Yeah. I think we are well informed.
Well informed.
Too well informed.
Well informed.
And to settle to say that now it's conspiracy theory. And from day one, it's been like that. Actually, from day one, it's been even more intense. Until probably the ministers and them say, here we're going on, like, you're killing me with 5 days a week. I need a rest.
Yes, because it was really 5 days a week.
It was a 5-day-a-week thing.
And then they bring it down to 3.
And the Prime Minister had to speak every 2 weeks. You know,
Yeah.
Prime Minister was speaking every 2 weeks.
So,
Yeah,
Alan, I
off.
don't buy into the thing that we're not getting the facts. Because if we're not getting the facts, as I say, they just have media questions, and the media does ask hard questions.
Right. I hear that. I agree with you 110%.
Some public servants in the health system would have done.
And I don't
Call
believe
them
it.
friends
Thanks
in whoever Express News,
Yeah,
they
you-
see
that
and see
leak.
whoever you
That
call
information
them.
that leak.
And they have some document, did I see a document come out?
Look at this. The dollar leak. I can't really check
But
that.
Alan, it have people that I talk to and they actually believe it don't have no virus. No, I'm telling you, I have spoken to somebody and they
Did you send them the Did you send them? Yeah, they send them the one from India. There's another one from a lady from America. She was crying. Who taking time? She left, and she came out and she did a video because she was so inundated, so swamped. Her system was shutting down. She said that there was, and India, that was in the first wave. There's not even the second wave. This was in the first wave, and I think it was a hospital, one of the hospitals either in New York or somewhere around. And she was crying that there are no more beds. And there's some patients, she just had to hold their hand and pray and pray. Not even the families could have come in and say goodbye. Or in our final moments, not even the
and you
families
can't even
could come
see
in.
them because it's straight furnace.
So, and to discard of the remains.
Yeah, straight furnace.
It had. And right now in India, they say they had an aerial view.
With burning,
Burning,
well, I
cremations.
heard that. I was like, wait, that different? That different?
Me?
It's sanitizer so that see this kind of look here. No, but I mean we to the people who really believe it do have a virus, I wish all the best.
Sanitizing, yeah,
Me playing for slips. If all them playing for slips, I tell you all them, pen slips.
White.
me
My hand white. Yeah. I did it.
I have my babies on them, so yeah.
I did not know. No.
As I said,
I did not announce that I had my vaccine. I took my vaccine
Hey!
over a week, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you get that way? I thought you were dealing with
Inside.
a certain type of people.
I'm a certain type of people. I'm a certain type of people, and I'll tell you this. I did it
So you feeling?
I feel like no, I tell you I did. When I take it, no, I tell you what, all I know, Alan is a clown. So, and I openly confessing that. So I take the vaccine. And when I called, I was walking out so. People sit up in the center start. People in the center start, I know.
Yeah, because I know that they're vaccinated like that.
I got mine in Barataria.
Alright.
So in Barataria, I get my thing. I come also. People start to laugh. And when I went home, I shared with a few friends. I said I took the vaccine, thing. And then I ended up, but a while after, I said, I'm feeling weird. They say, you're feeling weird? What happened? And I said, a werewolf picture. I said, a werewolf picture. Well,
No, but I think the first one is the easy one, From what I was hearing.
But all right. So the first one
Is the
I know of persons who took the first one,
yeah.
and they get sick. They had flu. They had the fever.
I think it's your immune system too.
Yeah,
So much you could.
Yeah, how much?
Because this thing is, remember, it's like a booster.
It is.
So if your body can handle that, whatever.
She was actually, a daughter. I hear an ex-partner of mine. Them get little, but they. People talk about the arm because when I'm listening on the radio, they say some individuals would have had their arm, would feel pain when they get the injection, and would have gotten the flu and flu-like symptoms or the case of it. but doesn't mean that that's called side effects.
Right.
Because like when you take a child to get it immunized,
Okay, yeah.
sometimes you buy your Panadol syrup one time.
But I hope they have a little sweetie,
Because
you
the
know.
child-
You know, when they get out, I want a sweetie and
They get a nice little ice cold rub. Parliament.
Come now, no, look at like Diana.
Yeah, what you will get, you get a plaster with something.
I remind you.
Yeah, that's the plaster.
A plaster.
But to me, nothing really happened. Actually, I know that I had a little back pain, and the next day
It gone?
No, the next day
Oh.
it intensified because
Right.
again, it's like whatever problem it was seeing, it was coming like, we're on here, and I started working on it, we're on
Like
here.
nanos, daddy nanos, the people.
And then I hear the nana like this, the manites. He said, I'm working on it. You probably right here like,
What's
I'm
that?
like, what's going on?
That conspiracy it have behind this vaccine.
I am part of the science friends. I am part of the
Man,
science
talk
friends.
about nanites going through.
Manites, good show.
Nanites going through. And then somebody controlling you.
Yeah.
So you just get up and
Snapping
you get up, You just get up and
That's what we're on.
Rubber band.
Yeah. Right now, Bill Gates probably have a chip inside and make you I don't know how.
I study what they following me for.
And here's what,
What
right?
about the hacker brain?
I always say, what the chip right here, you know, everybody have the chip. And they didn't argue about this chip.
Yeah, that's the chip.
They didn't argue about this chip.
Rubber dub
Dub.
Good evening, Robert Dub Dub.
How you doing, my
Good
dear?
evening.
I had my vaccine Friday
Well done.
Nice.
afternoon and no symptoms. What I did is they said that if you have any aches or pains, you could take Panadol.
Right,
So when I reached home around 4 o'clock, I took 2 Panadol,
right,
Nice.
right? And I'm a young kid on the block.
right.
Nice.
Right.
I hear the youth in your age, like you get young, you know?
So Saturday evening, I said, well, look, nothing. I ain't feeling anything.
Yeah.
I take an X2.
Good.
And I'm good, nothing.
I think-
no
and-
ache, no pain, no fever.
Believe in the science.
Nothing.
Believe in the science.
I actually took 2 Panadol when I got home as well, I
Yes.
took 2 Panadol immediately when I got home.
And I have to,
Nothing happened, like, I felt actually didn't feel anything coming on, didn't feel nothing, so.
I have to be, squeezing my hand hard to feel where I got
If
it.
you really got it, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, so far, I have to say, so far, so good.
Nice, wonderful, nice, good.
And I feel
love that feedback.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting for my second shot.
Nice, man.
Very good.
I would encourage anybody to take it.
So how long you have to wait before you
They
get
said I'm getting my second. I think
They will
it's-
call and give me, they will call me. And they did call on Saturday to find out how I'm going.
Right. Oh, they call you back. Look at that.
Anybody call you? When they call you?
It's like one.
And I'm good.
Very nice.
Nice.
Really thank you for your testimony.
Yes.
And we encourage others to go get
As I
inoculated.
say, I'm a young kid on the block.
I'm
Nice.
hearing that.
Nice.
I'm hearing that.
Your name is not Pauline, though.
Yes. Oh, no. No.
Nice,
Okay.
man.
All right.
Thanks for sharing.
I want to pick up my boy Roy Rogers. Oh, going on, boy, we can't take it now.
Now you know, they're saying, and studies have shown, and I'm coming off this topic now because you don't want to spend the whole night talking
Yeah,
about
we
that.
are thinking.
COVID is already a depressing issue to take on. But they're saying it's quite possible that we will have to be inoculated once a year for COVID-19. So it's not going to be a 2-shot and done or a 1-shot and done scenario. Let's see who's that.
Eric.
Oh, Eric.
You're back inside. Hey, big up Noel Jack, boy.
Hey, Noel.
Big up Noel. Nice man with the pill.
100. Hey, you just want to man at some kind of. Full 100, you call it.
Eric?
I'm big up Noel. I want to thing around the line. Sorry, I get confused.
No. We big up Noel. Big up Eric.
So
Yeah.
I want to put a little perspective with the whole vaccine thing.
Go ahead.
Right?
Now, I hear everything that people have been saying, and I know persons personally from within my circles, some have taken the vaccine, and some give certain report, It was all is well, etc., etc.
Right.
But there's another person, a particular person from within hospitals, again, got the vaccine about a week and something ago, and shortly after suffered with some serious blood clots to the point that they said they had to amputate the person's leg. Yesterday we got the news that the person died as a result of waiting for the amputation. And this was a person who, from all intents and purposes, was basically healthy. Now, the thing about it is, they're telling you, there's a term they keep using, they said the benefits outweigh the risk. So they admit that there is a risk in taking it, because up to now they cannot explain why people suffer with these unexpected blood clots. It has been happening all over the world.
Okay.
You're looking healthy, all the reports coming in good, and for no apparent reason, for no explainable reason, people getting these blood clots. So the thing about it is,
Eric, one of the reasons why they're not perfectly healthy, clearly, because of blood clot. Hold on.
Follow me.
Here was, I know, before you go down that rabbit hole, let me help you down that rabbit hole, right? I could be sitting down here looking perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining about any issue, or even if I had a problem, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I go and I take my vaccine and then discover that I did have a problem that I didn't go and check on. And that is another thing to add to the equation, because we just can't say the person was perfectly healthy. It's not like they went and got a clean bill of health and then I take the vaccine and then we discover the problem. Some people don't do checkups, Eric, and that's the fact. But now that this happened, because like we say, they have side effects, so now we can't say that now we could say that the vaccine caused the problem. It's true. But we can't say that the person was perfectly healthy, because those who have issues, we see that they can affect you somehow.
Alright, so I could go now?
Go ahead.
Right. When I say perfectly healthy, I don't mean perfectly like a God. I mean, obviously, almost everybody suffers with some kind of anything somewhere. When we talk about perfectly healthy, we mean they're not suffering with what they might term, what are the what do you want us to use? You know, these serious diseases like maybe a cancer or
lifestyle diseases or the comorbid.
So when we do it about perfectly healthy, we obviously mean that they have no issues whatsoever. But almost everybody maybe is a simple thing like a runny nose. You know, that's a sign of something not functioning well in your body. When you're getting regular headaches, that's a sign of something not functioning well in your body. So it's not an absolute, but it's a figure of speech.
Right. I know, I understand the figure of speech.
Right.
I agree with you.
So the point I'm making is there have been cases where persons, as far as all the records I'm sure, they have not been suffering with any of these serious diseases, yet they still get. But they want to say, for no explainable reason. Because, for instance, if you go to do a general checkup, they will not tell you that the state of your blood is such that if you get cut, you might bleed to death. Hardly likely they will tell you those kind of things. Then you have the case where, the following point I'm making, they're telling you that the benefits outweigh the risk. So they're admitting that there is a risk in taking it. What can be happening to, and I agree with you what you just said, which is the point I was coming to, what can be happening as well is that people are now so concerned that if they don't take the vaccine, then there's the risk of getting COVID even more so. So they may tend to now overlook something that maybe some condition they are aware of, but maybe in their mind it's not that bad, but the benefits outweigh the risk.
Correct.
They decide, okay, you see this, I feel I better take the vaccine.
I hear you. And I agree. I follow it.
Don't get me wrong. So I'm not going on the road of saying because of these things, the vaccine is good. People should stay away from it. But I'm saying I just want to put another side to it. Because you're hearing these good reports, which is all well and good with that. And it gives the impression that there's nothing wrong. You don't want to worry about nothing. Just go and take it.
Right.
But then you have this other side where people also have to be aware that there is a risk in taking it if you have certain conditions. That's why they tell them make sure and take a checkup before, check the doctor.
Yes, indeed.
Make sure.
Yes, indeed. Even if you're not too sure, you go ask still. Go seek the right
Exactly.
advice. Because the
Exactly.
situation they may have. And I'll tell you why too they say that, Eric. One of the reasons why they said that the benefits outweigh the risk. And the risk factor is that along the testing line, there are a lot of things they had to omit in testing. When I say omit, a lot of people, like for instance,
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
when they say, right, they didn't, that's why they didn't give children 12 and under vaccine, and not necessarily advising children 12 and under to take vaccine, because they couldn't test it from children under 12. So there's a risk involved if a 12-year-old gets it. You understand? And I ain't saying that that's what it means, but it means that, I mean, understanding that the reason why they can say risk is that there are a lot of folks that they would have excluded, like pregnant ladies. They exclude those ladies out of the testing period. Certain illnesses, diseases are excluded out of the testing as well. So all these things play a factor as to, listen, we test along these lines, and if we fall under the bracket of these lines, we're good to go. But it's still average risk involved. Well,
so my thing is, don't just rush and take it.
right.
Because you might actually be causing yourself more harm.
No, it might cause some harm.
You have to check up. You have to
Know yourself.
Yourself more damage.
Correct.
But what's the age bracket of the person, Eric?
Check the doctor, get a second opinion if you have to. And if you really feel you have to do it, then, you have to accordingly.
But what's the age bracket of this person? Not a direct age, but like, just for reference.
Oh, really? Honestly, I'm not too sure,
Okay.
He's not an old person. I can tell you that, but he's not an old.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I guess
we know that blood clots are associated with COVID-19, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blood clots are associated with COVID-19. It's like, from what I just check up there, they say like it's 5 in every million people vaccinated, right? So there is that risk, but there are also other risks.
And like everybody else, like I said before, this is part of the science.
Yeah.
Because you still have to watch the behavior of the vaccine for folks, and still watch the behavior as to if folks did get the COVID after the vaccine, how it behave with certain folks. Because I could get vaccinated and nothing happened to me, and I get COVID. I get COVID and nothing happened to me. I was able to fight it off. Then somebody else got vaccinated, they got COVID, and they end up getting real sick when they had to be hospitalized. So now that person now is a part of the science. And these are the things that is going to happen in this period. So, damn if you do, damn if you don't, at the end of the day, we are all in the science. We're still in the science. We're still in the science. And again, it's up to you to take the risk if you wish, to be a part of the science. And I don't want to make it seem so facetious in terms of, and make it seem so dangerous, but whether you take it or not, we are in the science right now. We are all in the science.
There's a risk if you don't take it. There's a different risk if you take it.
Correct.
There is risk either way. So you just have to know what you're up for.
And something we're going to talk about next week, and when you're around, Eric, we'll talk about the pursuit for herd immunity. You understand? The people need to be herd immunity. The herd immunity is really about getting enough people vaccinated so that the virus don't have the effect it's having on society today. You understand? Eventually, it will push off the virus. So even if it comes around, enough people is inoculated in sense and vaccinated so that it would not affect daily living. You understand? And that's something we need to discuss. Once you're around, we can actually discuss that in depth. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah.
For your perspective.
But anyway, COVID People, wear all your masks. Social distance a little further than that, 6 feet thing. Protect all yourself.
Push them back.
All your
Hey, too close.
We have our next video.
But before we do that, take a break now.
Take
Take a small break. Huh?
Tired.
No, yeah. But we
Alright.
usually on the halfway point, we not cross the halfway point.
Because you have a point.
Yeah, I know. I go
Take
to
a
the
share. Let me take the
Yeah,
call.
yeah.
You go to the break.
Rubber dub dub.
Rubber dub dub.
Dub Dub.
Yes, doctor.
Well, you're calling the right man.
Yeah.
Sienna. Alan,
Doctor,
I took my job about more than 2 weeks now.
the jab and shoot is called the jab. Yeah.
Yeah, the job. But before I did that, I went by, well, I felt I don't play. I just do my blood works and things regular. And before I take my job, I went by my doc. And my doc tell me, listen, from your blood work and everything, you good to go.
Nice.
You understand? Because one of the things I think he even did was to see if I have antibodies in my system, because you know sometimes
That's fine. Right.
you have the thing inside of you.
Right.
So that was one of the tests that he did and all. And he said, hey, you're good to go. But coming back to Eric, before I go to that, one of the other things about herd immunity is not only to, because you will not be able to vaccinate 1.3 million people.
No.
Because it will have pregnant people, it will
Right.
have babies, all of
Children,
that.
all that. Right.
So one of the purpose of herd immunity is once you have people sufficient, 80%,
Yeah.
that 80% will protect
Correct.
the other 20% who cannot take the vaccine
Correct.
for whatever reason.
Correct.
Right. Now, coming back to this thing, what Eric talk about there, I can't chop that, you know. I can't chop that.
Tell me why.
What Eric say, the man
The clot.
get the thing and in 4 days,
Yeah.
get blood clot, and they had to amputate.
Right.
How they reach so far to amputate?
Right.
That is what I can. Because if you start to get blood clot, obviously something had to be causing the blood clot, and then they're supposed to have medication to give you to prevent the blood clot. So why you want to go to amputation so quick?
Right.
So if you have to go to amputation in that short space of time, which tells me
Prolonging problem.
you had a problem of some underlying problem before, that this thing exacerbate.
That is the thing.
Exacerbate.
Exacerbate the thing.
It exacerbates
Yeah.
what you had.
And it's the same thing like with
Yes,
you, because
that's my point.
you had a
My-
back pain and it get a little worse.
William, I had as I say, remember I come here a couple weeks before and I told you my back hurting me. Remember I announced here, I had a back problem, right? Right. My back problem is a muscular problem because we do the X-ray everything, and they say the bone everything perfect. They say that problem is a muscular problem. It's not even a nerve problem. It's a muscular problem. But it's tiny muscles inside there. I felt a pain the day after from the vaccine. I told myself it's the vaccine, but I felt a pain that it intensified because, and again, it's not like they say the vaccine is the problem. The pain is the problem. I remember having an abscess and I took antibiotics for the abscess, right? Now remember, this is to cure that problem.
Yeah.
But in the process of curing the problem, I get intensified pain.
That's correct.
Yeah.
While the process taking place.
Yeah.
I felt like I was dying from this pain.
But listen, Eric, one thing, I don't know if it's my job teach me that, but one thing I just always say, you must diagnose before you prescribe.
Right?
You must diagnose.
Each doctor, yes.
Each doctor must diagnose before you prescribe.
Correct.
You don't prescribe in a vacuum or in VAPS.
Right.
Right. So, if you don't diagnose what a person has, or the person is not, my mother always used to tell me, two people you have to always be truthful with. is your doctor and your lawyer. You don't play with them things.
Yeah.
So if sometimes your doctor, you are truthful upfront, and you don't give your doctor the enough chance
Correct.
or allow him to do the diagnosis that he's supposed to do by doing blood tests and all of that kind of thing, because some people, they mightn't have the funds to pay for the blood test, because you know it has some blood tests pretty expensive, right? No, if you don't do all of these things, then your doctor cannot get a true picture of what it is going on with your body, you know.
Correct.
You understand?
Correct.
And Alan, I could tell all you something here, I could say it on national TV. Because when I went to get my job, the lady asked me, the nurse asked me, where's my vaccination card?
Right.
I said, madam, what did you telling me? She said, where's your vaccination card? I said, madam, watch me good. I said, the last time I think I must get something like immunization, I was when I was 10 years old. I say from then to now, I say I'm 65. I never had to do that because I always make sure and keep my body right. Eat good, exercise, and I is not as an occasional drinker. I not to say I'm going to take a drink.
Right.
I don't smoke and I don't do all them kind of things. You understand?
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, one of the things that we have to do, and the people and them suggested, before you take the job, consult with your physician.
Consultation.
Because your physician is supposed to know all your ailments, and he will be able to say, listen, here what's happening. You see this thing? If you take it, it might exacerbate something else somewhere.
Yeah.
Might have a
And
bigger
that's,
problem.
and that's one of the side effects as well. That's a
Side effect.
It's not an ad. Some people think. So I saw I was on radio yesterday and somebody say,
I'll even all you with this one,
well,
Alan.
well,
How much people in the United States take the job already?
over 2 million or something so.
What?
Over 2 million or something so.
Wait, Alan, you're getting it wrong. The two is right. It's 2 million a day nearly than people doing it. Over 100 million people in the States get the job already.
Right, you see?
Over 200 million people.
And we here reach a million and we playing the fool.
Because you
everybody
remember,
should be vaccinated.
Biden, one of Biden's promises was he wanted 100 million by his 100th day in office, which will be sometime day after tomorrow.
Wow.
And he achieved the 100 million on his 60th day.
Good. And he going still.
Wow.
And not he going, and they crossed the 200 million already in the States.
100%.
How much debt they have from that in the States?
I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, well, we don't know. Yeah.
We don't know. And they have the science. And they're still in the science.
If I hear they talk about 3 or 4 of that, they talk plenty. Because you know, across the news media don't play.
They don't play at all.
They don't play because when you hear Fauci and them fellas and them come.
Buddy, let me ask you a question, Willie. Before you leave, let me leave you with this one. If you name,
Why are you leaving Willie with one?
I'll leave you with Willie, I'll leave you with this one. If your name was AstraZeneca, would you want to put a product out there that you know is not competent enough to deliver?
No, you can't do that because
your name on it?
Exactly, they blew you up.
Because listen, let them put out a good product.
Problems.
Listen, when them fellas finish with you, when them fellas finish with you,
Yeah.
why you think one of the reasons why they have not, because India is asking to get the patent to produce the same AstraZeneca and thing in India.
Right.
And you know what it is they tell them? They will send the vaccine for them.
Yeah, they give
But
them
they
that
will not give them the patent to make the thing across it. Because after they make it, if anything happens, who they coming to?
right back by them. And then two, remember, the other one because they had the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Johnson and
Remember
Johnson.
they hold the Johnson & Johnson, they had a scare, they hold it and say, just in case, and then they say continue and good to go.
Yeah.
They're not making joke with these things.
Personally believe, I will leave it back, as others always say, do your research, do your thing. Again, it's an individual decision. If you don't want to take the job, that is your right.
Nice.
You understand?
Irie, thanks
Nice, later.
Nice, and with that,
Right, so we're going to a break. Big up to Benjamin DJ Redder. Locked on up there in Rima Malabar side. Big up my boy.
And I'm hot these days, boy. Look at that.
Let me know
I'm hot in the streets. I'm hot. Come back and deal with Arima.
Deal with Arima.
Don't go and deal with them. We are
Deal with Arima. They don't go nowhere.
Arima ready.
Arima have it nice.
Lord, Father, Arima.
A
Bring
man get a vaccine.
touch
He
the people and them with
get
something.
vaccinated. Anyway, give me a...
Hey. Just because you cannot jet away doesn't mean you cannot get away. I know you want to get away because the lockdown every day have you stressed out in every way. But here's what you can do. Spend the night at any participating guest house in Trinidad or Tobago and qualify to win free groceries and a weekend for two with breakfast at another property. Here's how to win. It's the Gaia Staycation. Here's what you do. Book your stay. Spend the night. Take a picture of your room the first time you see it. Take a picture of your breakfast. Take a picture of you having fun. Well, not in bed, of course. And make a 2-minute video telling us how great the location is. Send us your pics and your video, and you can win groceries for 6 months and a weekend stay at a different property or the same one you enjoyed. This promotion runs from February 15th to May 15th. The more places you stay, the better your chances to win. Visit Gael Staycations on Facebook for more details.
Close, must be close. That is brilliant. You carry, it does carry. Ran out of patience. Putting his team in full control, you can see he's passionate. Carlos Brathwaite! Remember the name!
A good point there, you know.
Yeah, somebody just left us a little point while we were in the break. And she was saying that something I remember sometimes. Good, healthy, perfectly healthy athletes who sometimes have to endure medicals as often as possible, regularly, exercising regularly.
Just
But
fall
they
long.
playing and in the
Normal,
field
just
they
fall long, yeah.
fall long and die. Some of them get a stroke right there on the field. There's no perfect situation really and truly. So with regards to the vaccination and stuff, still it's not a perfect situation. I know persons who had COVID. Actually, when they got ill with COVID-19, athletes, it interfered with their stamina, with their ability to
because they can't breathe properly.
Right, it took their form, what they get out of form, and had to be, take them months to really catch back that form that they lost.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
Robert Dub Dub.
Yes, I want to make a contribution.
Go ahead, quickly. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, this is the full 100-man, Brother Noel.
Yeah! Noel, what's going on, buddy?
All right, okay, I just want to make a contribution to the discussion tonight about the COVID and so on. So I'm hearing many things. Some of them I agree with, some of them I disagree with, but I want you all to consider this. Let me ask you all a question, all right?
Go ahead.
If you have, let's say, you had a stroke, and of course you know with stroke is cardiovascular, cerebrovascular, right?
Right.
The circulatory system is affected.
Correct.
Right.
blood is not able to flow
Through the heart.
to some part of the body, especially the brain,
Yeah,
not
the
properly
brain,
and so on. And the medical doctors, they advocate a particular drug. It's in the blood. Excuse me, let's
Yeah.
say aspirin or warfarin or something like that.
Correct, yeah.
And then you read, like the guy said, do your research. You do your research and you read and read and read. And you see all these terrible side effects. You know, bleeding, you can't eat green foods.
Yeah.
Green foods that God made for you, for your health.
That is the healthier thing to eat.
Warfarin, you cannot eat it.
Because of the iron, it's rich in iron. Yeah,
So I'm imagining in my mind, how is this person's body going to be sustained in a healthy manner? Right?
Right, yeah.
And that's all the doctors present to you. You do the research, you see all these terrible side effects and so on. Sometimes a page and a half, sometimes 2 pages of side effects.
Wow.
Damage to your liver, damage to your kidney, damage to your bone, damage to your eyes, damage to your hormones. And then somebody advise you from an alternative perspective about ginger and saffron,
Moringa.
cutting out the fatty foods,
Right.
the excessive meat, the white flour, the dairy milk, and so on. Now, it is your choice to choose, right?
Yeah.
But in my opinion, if you were to use logic and true science, I will say, really analyzing stuff, I will choose the natural approach. I will choose reforming my diet because there was a cause to why I got the stroke.
Of course,
There was
yes.
a cause to why my blood get cut up.
Yes. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle disease. It's a lifestyle that you had that led to that, and
Right.
could possibly
I'm
lead
not
to
saying
that.
you too good, huh?
No, I'm saying it's a lifestyle that you lead that led to those issues.
Right. So the common sense thing for me to do is to
reverse
which is
it.
from a natural point of view, reason from cause to effect. Change my diet, adopt a different lifestyle, eat healthy and so on, and use the natural medicines, which we know from research don't have those side effects. Okay?
Yeah.
All I'm hearing from nations across the world, including our very own beautiful country, Trinidad and Tobago, is one narrative. One narrative, and that one narrative is coming from the World Health Organization. This thing is so incredible. It is so extreme, and I'm very serious about what I'm saying, right? It is so extreme that they're telling us, they have the audacity to tell us how to wash our hands. Everything is coming from the World Health Organization.
Right.
Now, what the people who calling in there who seem to be so credible and so on and in favor of this vaccine is do some research on the origin of the World Health Organization. Do some research on how it is connected to the United Nations. Do some research on the origin of the United Nations and what they have done to the world. All the various organizations and so on that are connected to the World Health Organization, including the World Health Organization. Do some research. Do some research on the origin of AIDS, HIV, and you'll see that it was genetically engineered to cut down the population of the world. And if you doubt me, I want to quote, listen carefully, right?
Wait, before you go there, let us stay down there, Jack. No. Everything that you're saying has its merit,
Yeah.
right? I'm not discrediting anything you're saying, but for the sake of the argument that's raising there,
Yeah.
in terms of the research, are you implying, sir, that the WHO could be sinister in the advice that they're giving to the world?
Listen to me carefully, and I'm quoting from a book called Murder by Injection, the story of the medical conspiracy against America by Eustace Mullen. This is a very prolific author of high reputation.
Go ahead.
The whole history of how
You have
the
2
medical
minutes.
board was set up and so on in the United States, right? How they extended the time period for a doctor to become a doctor, how they raised the salary to such a high level that it became an elitist thing, and how the Rockefeller syndicate controls medicine. They fought against the naturopaths, the practitioners of natural medicine, and they exalted what is called the allopath, which is what we have as a medical establishment. Listen carefully. He's quoting from the World Health Organization bulletin. and I'm in this field, and I have done research at the World Health Organization Library. Listen to me carefully. Myself, personally, the Pan-American Health Organization Library, the American Embassy, they have an information center there. I went to their library. I went at the Eric Williams Medical Complex, the library, and did research there long before people had laptops and fast computers and smartphones and so on, doing research on HIV and herpes and the emerging viruses. I also went to the General Hospital Library and came upon this information that I'm sharing with you here. Listen carefully. Right? Listen to this, what they said, right? This is on page 47 of the World Health Organization Bulletin. There were some what they call recommendations in regards to looking at a virus and the effects that virus can have upon the body's immune system. Listen to what they said. This is in the year 1972. And I'm quoting, an attempt should be made to see if viruses can in fact exert selective effects on immune function. So the research was to look and see how viruses affect selective effects on the immune function. The possibility should be looked into that the immune response to the virus itself may be impaired. The immune response to the virus itself may be impaired if the infecting virus damages more or less selectively the cells responding to the virus. And when you do the research, you will see they postulated the idea to make a virus that will selectively destroy the body's immune system. They did that. They used the National Cancer Institute to make the virus. If you look at the HIV virus under an electron microscope, I think there are only 2 in the country, you will see there are 2 different genetic blueprints. They took the bovine virus, which is a cattle virus, and the leukemia visceral virus, which is a sheep virus. They merged them in a genetic engineering recombinant technology. So that's what they made the HIV virus. The next thing they did was to inoculate people for hepatitis under the guise of a hepatitis B vaccine. They inoculated people with the HIV virus. And this happened in North America, it happened in Brazil, and it happened in Haiti almost simultaneously. Now, since then, things like the Ebola, things like the Marburg virus, the Rouge virus, the Lassa virus, we have all the various influenza type virus like bird flu, swine flu, H1N1. And we come right up now to COVID. We know COVID, the coronavirus, is a family of viruses. How all of a sudden these viruses just jump from animals to come to human beings? That can happen naturally.
So what you're alluding to, Noel, is that these viruses are man-made.
Are man-made, and I
all right.
And the
So
only way
I
it's
am not
spread
again
is if it is spread by man.
discrediting. I am not discrediting. Now this does not, what you're saying there, does not say or does not necessarily credibly state that the WHO is backing up or is responsible for what it is you read just now there. That says, what that tells me, and again, we have to be very careful here, Jack, because based on what you're saying there, I could actually see that being stated that the WHO is putting the information out there of the virus being man-made. But I don't know how the WHO is responsible for the virus being spread.
Listen, if they're responsible for it being spread, many times they give out information that are not correct. Like when they started to tell you...
But Jack, that's 50-50 here. But based on what they're doing there, Jack, that's 50-50. I'm not trying to discredit your information. Because clearly, you're well researched.
You're researched.
And I have respect for anybody. I said, you go and get your information. But my thing is, we as the media must be very, very sensitive as to how we dispense the information. Because my thing is, if the WHO is fighting tooth and nail to say, because this is what the information seems to and sways for me in terms of the behavior of the WHO, is to try and preserve the way of life preserve life.
Well, we need. I think this is
But-
a discussion. There's a wider
We'll bring
discussion.
it in. We'll bring it in,
that,
Jack. And we can have a full discussion on it.
I mean, we
I like that.
I hear you, and I mean, I like people who do research. So it's
Right.
good to know that you know that.
Allow me, just before I finish, right?
Go ahead.
Put one quotation, right? Allow me. Could you?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm quoting now from a book, Healing Codes for the Biological Apocalypse, Dr. Leonard G. Holowitz, right? This is the guy who discovered HIV through dentistry. Now listen to what he said, and he's quoting from another book. Some of you may be familiar with this, The Impact of Science on Society. Listen carefully, The Impact of Science on Society. This is written by a British intelligence aristocrat, Mr. Bertrand Russell himself. Listen carefully. Bertrand Russell, in The Impact of Science on Society, he says this: I do not pretend that birth control is the only way in which populations can be kept from increasing. Listen to that. There are others which one must suppose opponents of birth control will prefer. War has hitherto been disappointing in this respect. But perhaps, are you listening to me?
Yeah, we are.
War has hitherto been disappointing in this respect. But perhaps bacteriological war may prove more effective. If a Black Death could be spread throughout the world once in every generation, survivors could procreate freely without making the world too full. The state of affairs might be somewhat unpleasant, but what of that? Really high-minded people are indifferent to happiness, especially other people. Bertrand Russell talking about a biological war where they will infect people, creating a Black Death in every generation.
Right.
And my final quotation, right? My final quotation.
But Jack, you got your quote on
Yeah, we have more thing to touch on, you know.
Last one. Final quotation from the Protocols to the Learned Elders of Zion. And these are heavy literature, right? They give a whole explanation how they will wear out government with confusion, political confusion. They will use the media, etc., etc. And they close by saying this. He says, but you yourself perfectly well know that to produce the possibility of the expression of such wishes by all the nations, it is indispensable to trouble in all countries, the people's relations with their governments, so as to utterly exhaust humanity with dissension, hatred, struggle, envy, and even by use of torture, by starvation, and listen to this one, by the inoculation of diseases, by wants, so that the manipulated see no issue than to take refuge in our complete sovereignty, in money, and in all else. So listen, there's a plot just before COVID hit. 6 months before, do the research. There was a simulation of this exact pandemic. That's the name of it, pandemic, not a pandemic. An exact rehearsal, exactly how it happened in that simulation is what played out. It is what is playing out now, what we're seeing. I am saying, brethren, there are alternatives.
What is the alternative?
Hydroxychloroquine with zinc and with vitamin D3 that is working and has worked. There's also ivermectin. There's megadoses of vitamin C. There are nanocellular.
Hold on, Jack.
One narrative and no alternative. Something is totally wrong with that. And I don't mind
Hold on, Jack.
advocating vaccines at all.
Hold on.
Live healthy and you'll fight the COVID.
Right, Jack. But now, hold on, Jack. I'm ask you one question before you go.
Right.
In the face of a pandemic, facing a pandemic, question is, who do you first try to protect?
You try to protect those people who are vulnerable, those people who are
most vulnerable in society, yes?
right. Those people who are old, those people who have a lot of lifestyle diseases,
And
so
also the underprivileged.
on. Right, of course. the poor and so on, yes.
Right. Question is, could the underprivileged as well as the most vulnerable actually take in hydrochloroquine? Is the science strong enough to prove that everybody could withstand or could deal with hydrochloroquine? There's a science for that as well.
Not everybody, but what I'm saying is that it has shown to be effective. They know how to use it to make it effective.
But the 6 and 1/2 and half a dozen not the next, Jack.
No, listen,
If you're saying that the 6 and 1/2 and half a dozen not the
guys,
next.
we could go back
And
and
when you
forth.
come in here, no, Jack, come in
We
here.
can go back and
come
forth
in
with
the
this.
dial and we go talk about it.
That's
I
enough.
like what you're saying. I love your information, no?
Jack, we'll talk in
Jack,
the future.
thanks for the information.
Thanks for the info.
We appreciate it. Come in the Gael.
We go
deal with
we
that
go
here.
line up
We go deal with that here.
and we go bring in the guy.
all right, no problem.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes.
Thanks. Blessings. That's Jack, full 100 man all here.
I want to say one thing,
Go ahead.
I want to say one thing. Based on what my partner just bring to us. Library in Mount Hope,
Mount Hope and whatever.
library in Tong. Which the next one? Some US Embassy library.
Yeah.
You know that could almost be just like when you see something on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
Because-
No, again, not only that. I'm going to add to what you're saying.
Because wait, before you continue, you hear what he say?
This
was-
if it's Willie or anything.
Right, so Willie
It's
hear
only
me.
It's only
Willie hear me.
Willie.
Hear me. Hear me before you start.
Did I hear the man say take hydrochloroquine?
Just now, Willie. We don't
Willie,
not
just
only
now.
Just now.
Just now.
Yeah, what boy saying here?
You make me lose my trend.
No, boy, they was talking about the library.
Right.
Mount Hope, the one in Tong, and somewhere else again he call about 3 or 4 libraries.
Right. So
Yeah, go ahead.
all this information, but yet still you're saying this is Alistair reading it, but Alistair reading it from Alan reading it from Willie,
Right.
Willie reading it from Eric, and Eric was reading it from Aaron. So again, that story could have changed 10 times.
No, wait. Not only that. The story is always up to interpretation.
Exactly.
Listen, here we are.
And if I want to find that information,
You have to go
I
to
want
the
to search
you
that
have to go to
information
the
out.
source.
But go ahead.
Alan,
Go ahead.
the gentleman said that he cannot see how the virus could spread from animals to humans. Remember he said that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. Now, if we look at the world of long ago and the world now, how many of the habitats that these animals and them used to live has now been invaded by man?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if you invade my space, where the animal will come? And the animal will have no choice but to come closer to human beings?
Yeah.
Not so?
Yeah.
Because we have been cutting down trees, forests, left, right, and center, where these animals had the habitat away from men, or away from humans, let me put it that way. So I am listening to this gentleman, and I am hearing stories that everybody, I want to ask him, is a doctor by chance, Alan?
No, his field is alternative medicine.
Okay, fine. No, I have no problem with your alternative medicine because we grew up, our parents teach us some other thing.
Right.
I want to know how many of his family take hydrochloroquine and them sort of stuff.
But listen, we go ask
Listen,
the Gael. Jack, don't call back.
Hold on.
We will bring in the Gael. Don't answer
Don't answer, Willie. Save it. Write it down.
On it.
Write it down. Write it down.
Yes.
The man from somewhere down St. James side or somewhere.
No, you're not Rima. He's a
Right, the same man?
Yeah. He was here with us already, full 100.
Full 100.
Like the same gentleman, Alan?
Yeah, full 100. He's full 100 guy.
Alright, here we're happening. Last week or 2 weeks ago, Errol, I don't know where he just pick up this fella's song. He brought a ATS on board. You remember that fella?
No, well, go ahead.
So here we have then. You see them two? Bring them and let them, both of them, bring them on board and let both of them conduct a show.
They never argue about themselves.
You know, that whole night, that show had to start 6
all right.
and finish 12 o'clock.
Thanks, Willie.
And later,
No, you see,
Willie.
here's my thing here. Here's my thing here. I understand people just do their research and
No, I for research.
But the thing is, everything you're researching is already out there as a conspiracy theory.
Right, but and not only that, remember too, this was written based on their studies of what happened in the past.
In the past.
And so now, even if you are to wage a war that says there are minds out there that's seeking to
Depopularize.
right, decrease the population of the world. Let me look at it from, let me look at it from common sense. Let's look at the common sense of the whole thing. I am putting it to you, Jack, that if the plan was to depopularize Trinidad and Tobago, you see the first lockdown, 9 months from that Palo.
It's all over.
9 months. You calculate 9 months and go and stand up by Mount Hope Medical and watch belly. It's like if people eat yeast. Tell me about it. So it not so
It's
the
all kind of thing.
so the no, all right, no, and like I said, a couple weeks ago, Jack, my good partner sent me a video, right? And it was with Bill Gates talking about the population of population being decreased, wherever the case may be. I went back, like I said, and I went to the TED talk, that talk that he was having. What he saw was an excerpt or a piece based on somebody saying, look what Bill Gates saying, that they want to decrease the population.
Yeah.
When
And that was part of a bigger.
all right,
About
you can't come in the middle of me and start talking about something here.
And you just
We in the middle of the alphabet.
you come and see.
You come there and take the whole story. You make a whole story based on what you hear, but you didn't go because in the conversation, the context of the conversation must not be taken out of the entire conversation itself. Because if I take this piece of this excerpt here and I bring it for you, like for some people just walk around. There's a saying that goes, there's a saying about the experience. Oh gosh, I'll get on it. If you take a piece of the proverb and you bring it on the table and you neglect to think about the other part, you only have it in part.
Yeah.
So they take that part and expound on it to create a conspiracy
To
theory.
create a theory.
Right. And you don't know at the end of the day what's going on with Bill Gates. I went and looked at it. And Bill Gates was saying, actually, if people don't have the right information about this behavior, you would have people having less children. It wasn't about inoculating people to have less children. It was about the inoculation to help persons. And what you would find is that if people are not informed properly, and it was not a matter of hiding information.
That's exactly what it
it's
is.
about people being informed. That could lead to people withholding from having more children. And that is exactly, if you go back and look at the entire TED Talk, and you get the excerpt, you would see what that's in is true.
You see these
Conspiracy theories.
These super researchers.
No, I don't listen. I have no problem. Listen. I listen to a guy. A guy from named Jim Rohn. And I'll tell you what, right? He said Hitler buy a book. He said, yeah, read it, no book.
Yeah.
He said, the Bible there too. Read the Bible. He said, I don't believe nobody. He said, what he was actually saying, make sure you have your own mind.
Formulate your
own
because
opinion.
it's based on how you interpret it. That's,
Exactly.
that's the whole
so
thing.
if you want...
You will interpret the Bible different from me. Right?
And
if you understand what I'm
right.
saying.
And if I spend more time reading the Bible, you could get deeper and deeper revelation as to what is going on. Just like if you spend enough time looking for the conspiracies, you're going to get revelation as conspiracies.
But I'm not going
wherever your
to
mind zoom.
looking at Mount Library.
No, I welcome it.
What book then?
I welcome it.
All the book where they don't want, they send it
no,
to.
I welcome it. I'm saying go get the research.
General Hospital Library.
Go get the research and come back and then talk about it. But my thinking is this, right? At the end of the day, if we, yes, there are men, and it will always have men that devise evil. You understand? If we sit down and fold the arm and say, some man, HIV was man-made. Let me tell you something, half the things that we live in with sometimes is man-made.
It's man-made.
You understand? Yeah. And the cure is also man-made.
It's also man-made.
So at the end of the day,
that's our next
if good men sit down and do nothing, evil will always prevail. So even if a man devises evil in creating an HIV or creating this dreaded disease or creating Ebola and infecting black people and infecting black communities, okay. But good men rose up. And I'm saying that, why we saying that? The same Rockefeller.
So then there's only...
The same Rockefeller.
You know when you talk about Rockefeller?
The same Rockefeller.
Tell me something.
Would have been...
Today, who controls Rockefeller today?
Who's that?
Who? You know who?
No, who?
I asking a question.
No, Rockefeller, that's a generational thing. It's a generational family. That the Rockefeller name.
No, but there's a Rockefeller, right?
No, that Rockefeller, that's the next Rockefeller something.
Right.
That's the next Rockefeller business. But he chose that name Rockefeller, but the Rockefeller itself, the Rockefeller name, they are the ones that was in the in terms of they were instrumental in refinery of oil.
Okay.
So his name was, and that's his claim to fame. He was once the richest man on the planet. You understand? Okay. So if you do the history of the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Carnegies, and all these different people, even the J.P. Morgan is the man that actually instituted the what you call it? What's that? The J.P. Morgan. He was the man that instituted. I'm going to say the refinery. Oh my gosh, we'll just keep stepping, man. The reserve, the gold reserve. He's the person that was instrumental in instituting the gold reserves. And saying that if I have to bail you out, he bailed out the United States of America financially. So there are histories of these guys becoming rich, but there are also the history of them actually trying to keep and stamp their name in terms of doing goodwill on the land. They wanted to be known to be leaving a good name and instituted something. But that is why Bill Gates was very adamant in his fight in cancer research and quenching cancer, and other guys pump monies into HIV research and how do I now we have people living longer lives. People living longer lives now because men pump money into the research of HIV/AIDS so that people can live longer lives. So we've benefited on the shoulders of these wealthy men.
As a researcher, and if you want to be a respected researcher, right, your data has to be very close to the truth.
But it must be on the truth itself. And again, half of that is interpretation.
Exactly.
I remember looking at this movie.
Because I mean, in a time like this now, when you have people who too-minded about this whole vaccination thing, you have to be very careful what you're putting out there. Yes, I understand living healthy is the best way. Don't eat no KFC, don't eat no flour.
As much as
then you close down flour mills and don't eat no rice, right? Plant some cabbage and dasheen and everything, and they will be good.
Yeah.
Maybe. That is one way of living.
Right.
That is one way of living, right? But now when we actually in the middle of this thing, you have to be real careful.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
You have to be careful.
You don't want to tell persons
You have to be careful.
don't want to take the vaccine.
If that's you, I have
If you
no
don't-
problem with that.
I don't have a problem with you. Not that I keep
Yeah,
saying
that's
That's
your
a choice.
prerogative.
That got in your head. But
Yeah,
I'm very
we have to
mindful
be careful because
of creating vaccine hesitance. Because if we, you have to remember too, by and large,
so yeah.
by and large, you'd find majority of the people want what's best for the land.
Yeah.
I ain't saying that we all will be on the same page at the same time, but majority of us really concerned about our lives and concerned about the lives of our loved ones, our family. We concerned about, majority of us. Some youngsters, some people, they're too young to care, so they live life helter-skelter. But the majority, and those in the majority now, is the minds you have to pick on and see where we're going as a people, what we want to do, whatever the case may be. And if the majority say we want to go in this direction, then your thing is to inform the majority as to how to walk in that direction in the best way possible. And I agree with you, Jack. Eat healthy.
Eat healthy. I have no problem with telling
Stitching
someone.
time saves 9.
Yeah.
Do it until you're sick.
But with that
Then
said,
flip your holes.
With that said, guys, the views of and opinions of the callers
Hey.
to the Rubber Dub
Being the
Dub
guy
show, right? It's not necessarily that of the show or
You do not
guy.
disclaimer, why didn't disclaimer
Of
now?
course, I don't want nobody
I bring him
see me
back
on
to
the road
Brian.
tomorrow.
I
No,
bring him
and that's
back
the
to
friend.
Brian.
Like, we can bring him.
And let me talk about that. I
Yeah,
have no problem with that
because
at the end of
it's
the day-
healthy discussion.
At the end of the day, friends,
But we have to be careful of imposing ideology.
I myself, I'm a person for researching stuff.
Yeah.
Find
So
out what it
research
means and
before you went and
do my
jab up your
I do
thing.
my job. I asked the questions.
Yeah.
I actually started research from in the negative spectrum first.
Right.
What is wrong
What is wrong? Correct.
with the vaccine?
And they go come up.
Because I know someone must be right and throwing stuff up there. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna read. I read it from both sides of the scale. And then I go and choose which side I'm going on. But I'm going and read. I'm going and ask the hard questions first.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if I walk into this, I'm walking into this informed.
No, this thing, hey Alan, this thing real, it's different, You have to really be careful. I saw a picture of a train, right? A picture of a train on a track somewhere in the States going down wherever with a barrel on it marked COVID-19. And people commenting, yes, they would have transported it in and they're spreading it. What kind of, what is, you have to be careful of the information and the data you bring in.
We all in this fight together.
Yeah, boy.
Whether your mitigation technique is to take hydrochloric,
Noel,
hydroxychloroquine,
I agree with you 100% to eat healthy.
whether your method is to take hydroxychloroquine with zinc and that stuff, fine. I have no problem with that.
2 for 100.
But don't go and tell people to take it. And that caused a problem for them as well. Because they take it.
I don't tell nobody what to do. If you have information, we'll bring it.
Before I went and take the thing, I went and researched.
Right.
And I know that AstraZeneca didn't only make COVID-19 vaccine. They are responsible for a lot of other
Jacob,
medications
remember,
well.
we bring in here the guy. When we bring in Jacob, boy,
A lot of
we'll call you
different
tomorrow.
medications.
Eric will call you.
So they are responsible for a
And
lot
who's
of
the
different...
next man?
They're responsible for a lot of different medication as well. So it's not only COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah.
So take it up.
Who is the next man?
Who's that?
Who will he talk about to bring with
I don't know the father, the atheist. The
atheist?
Who's that? I am not calling that.
Well, right, so we 92, so we're looking at that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the dinner that. On Twitter, let's close the door on this one here, friends. You'll land the plane on this Tuesday night edition of Rubber Dub Dub. Thank you for being
Big up,
part of it.
Stan.
That's for the
Hopefully the
for all
full team
comments.
next week. Full
Pauline!
team.
Love it.
Pauline!
All
Hey,
the
faster!
And I'm done.
Faster! Pauline! All is yours! We good.
Let's have a party.
I get your message.
That's it, right?
Oh, yeah. When you tell to talk about whole wheat bread, don't let nobody fool you. They target these things.
Hey, man, clean boss.
Hero to understand each other.
You want to see if I'm happy or
No, that's right. Do I say so? When
Guys, effort.
Who tell you that? Oh, you go sit down there and think about nothing.